Charmaine, and my guest today is one of the world's most prominent women of faith. She shattered the stained glass ceiling of the church world when she became the first female preacher against her Baptist church's strict rules to become a bishop. And she's here today to talk about the new series, Preachers of Detroit. I want you to help me welcome Bishop Corletta Vaughn to the show.
God bless you, Lady Charmaine. And thank you.
You are so welcome. I want to say congratulations on your new series. I'm going to tell you, that series got me talking. You hear me? Along with everybody else. So congratulations.
Well, you know, the opportunity came, and I've been praying to the Lord, whatever you're doing in this season, don't do it without me. Mm-hmm. And then the opportunity came, so I'm thrilled to be a part of a stellar cast.
Now, what has life been for you these past 3 weeks since you've been on national television?
Busy. I'm learning new skills. So I'm learning to watch comments and not punch my computer. Mm-hmm. I'm watching the trending, but it's been phenomenal. Far more positive than the very loud negatives. And we've been filming and working very hard to make this the best of the best. And for the last 6 months, so tremendous. It is just a breathtakingly wonderful God himself.
Now, the one thing I liked about it, because I know when they sent me the screener, I got a chance to watch it early. And I never forget, I tweeted out to let people know that this series will get people talking, not in a bad way, but it's addressing a lot of things in the church, even concerning women preachers and bishops, which, you know, in the church world, we have a lot of going back and forth. You know, they shouldn't preach. And then we're addressing the mega church, the look of a mega church pastor, because he has the big house, the big car, and what are you doing to help the city, you know, and I love Bishop Charles Ellis. I love his spirit, you know, and how God truly blessed him. So they're able to speak on those things on this show. So that's the one thing I really loved about it, because it's addressing all those behind the door conversations. You guys are putting them out there. And here it is.
And you wait. Episode 3. And, you know, when I came to this, Lady Charmaine, I came with the intent of being authentic. And my story, my journey in ministry, impact of my marriage, my marriage of almost 30 years, my grandson, who the streets of Detroit, he represents a dying generation of boys in the street, and then the community in which our church is, and I refuse to move. A school calls it the urban ministry, but, you know, we're just in the hood. Mm-hmm. And I share it all and what God is doing in Detroit. The city of Detroit administration filed bankruptcy, but the citizens did not. Mm-hmm. And we are gritty and resilient and revival. And to show that, to give Detroit another perspective, another spin. I mean, what an opportunity.
And I want to know, for you, since you are a pastor of a church and you're also a bishop, have you seen any increased visitation since your show has aired?
Oh, let me share. This past Tuesday night, a lady saw us from Germany, and she came to Detroit. She made contact with someone on Facebook, didn't know anybody here, and said, I want to meet that lady. And she was in my Bible study on Tuesday. So she was just floored. She wanted to meet me. She saw it. She has a watch party every Friday, and they watch it. And she came to Detroit to meet me. We are seeing a lot of men and women come through the doors. It's only been on 2 weeks now, but a lot of inquiries during the certainly we're expecting it any day now.
Okay, your phone was kind of going in and out, but we're going to keep on going. And I wanted to know, for you, Bishop, when you first received the call into ministry, especially being called a pastor, what was your response to God being a female, and not just a female, but in the Baptist church? What was your response to the Lord when you heard that call?
Well, I was 4 years old when I first heard it.
Really?
I was 4. I preached my first sermon at 4. And I was in the basement at my mother's beauty salon, and I had a little piano. My mother had bought me an upright piano. I turned the bench around. She had kind of like a daycare, and I preached to them. I had a waiting congregation, and I preached. And the people in the salon said, "Oh my God, Corletta's going to preach." And so it was not until I was 11 years old that I couldn't go into the pulpit. I'd kind of been oblivious to that. I grew up in a Baptist church, but I had good Christian parents that kind of buffered it. And it came as a result of me being an usher one Sunday, taking the water glasses to the chancel area, and an old deacon from the side of the wall there yelled and said, hey, where are you going? You can't go up there. Girls can't go up there. I turned around and looked at him, and the usher that was training me, she said, "Oh, be quiet, leave her alone." And when I got home, I, shared it with my father and my mom, and they explained to me at that time, I was 11, that there was some teaching that a woman could not do that, but they did not believe that, and they would not teach me that way. So it's been onward from there, and it comes from some of the most oddest places, systemic racism and sexism, but of course my thing is the sexism. It starts even in seminary. It starts in Bible college. It doesn't start in the church. We're raising up men and women through these seminaries that are training them with the horrible theology that God hates girls, and that the Bible, being patriarchal and masculine, only favors men. So it's systemic. It's not just at the local church level. It's systemic. And it is something that I believe this opportunity with Preachers of Detroit will give me the platform to bring the dialogue to the table.
Because I know watching the conversation that you were having with Dorinda when she felt that men were better leaders, what is your response to that? Because I saw your face.
Ooh. I've known the Clark sisters forever. Their mom, she's a little older than me. I played instrument and taught at their school, conservatory. So I've known the Clarks forever. I've probably known Karen since she was about 14, 15 years old. I've known them forever. I never knew them. So one of the things about Preachers of Detroit that people need to know is that it is unscripted. It is live, and my response was as authentic as it could be. I was totally stunned. And I heard her say it, and I remember looking at the episode, because we see it with you all. I said, "Do you really believe this?" Most people have never met a woman bishop. Most people have never met a woman bishop. And so when they meet one and they're confronted with the reality that, hey, I'm still a girl, I'm still a wife, it's a job, it's not a calling from God. Someone has to appoint you a bishop if it's done correctly. But you almost have to rethink what you have been saying. And, we have had several episodes since that. Everybody has to stay tuned to see how this evolves.
Okay. And with you being a bishop, how difficult has it been? Have you found it a challenge for some men to want to serve under you because you are a female and a bishop?
No. See, the beauty of this is that I was consecrated as a bishop November the 5th, 1995. This show is 20 years later. So we are now, I've been under the radar for years, planning churches and birthing out and, I've consecrated bishop. I'm not only a bishop now, I am a presiding bishop over bishops. And in our network of churches, oddly, the majority of my pastors are men. I don't think that there is an issue more than I have with the brethren. And I know that why, I believe the why is because a lot of women suffer from father hunger. I just wrote a book, Teach Your Daughters to Fly. And in this book, I talk about how women without fathers go to church looking for that fathering. And whatever daddy says, they believe. And so I really don't have I mean, the brothers love their mama. What brother don't love their mama? So, I mean, you do have some that have mama hate, but for the most part, I've not had any problem. And I say this, man was born of a woman. And nothing can be birthed in the church without a woman. Mm-hmm. Two men can't birth anything. You can't birth a move of God. You can't birth a prayer meeting. You can't birth anything. And this perversion of spiritual father, here's my spiritual father. Who is your spiritual father? And so I introduced the dialogue. But I don't have a lot of trouble with men. You know, they say what they say, but it doesn't bother me. I treat them as a girl and move right on.
Now, I want to know your reaction, Bishop, watching the show. You have one that's stirring the pot, which is Pastor Bullock, and he is stirring it up good. So I want to know, with you watching this show, what are you thinking? Are you thinking like us, this brother, Lord have mercy? Because I know you know him personally. So, you know, I don't know him. My first time ever seeing him was on television. What is your reaction to Bishop while you're watching him on TV?
Well, D. Anthony Bullock is like a son to me. So he's one of the few people, along with the Ripper and Charmaine.
Oh, your phone's breaking up. Can you hear me?
How is that? Is that better?
Yep, that's better. Thank you.
Thank you. His wife, and so he's always been gritty. In his early age, he would be considered a bad child. So, because he was always into something. But he's brilliant, and he's edgy, and he's, you know, when I saw the first episode, the premiere was February 20th, and we don't get to see it. So, of course, like everybody else, when I saw him in the cigar bar, I think the kids call it a hookah bar, with the cigar, I went to my knees because I know Bullock. He'll do whatever it takes to get that type of attention. But one of the things about him is that he gets the job done. He's confrontive. He's confrontational. Mm-hmm. He's combative sometimes. Mm-hmm. And you'll even see in, I think, this episode coming up tomorrow where, you know, I've had to check him a couple of times even on the show. But keep watching because you'll begin to see his genuine heart for the city of Detroit and for the grassroots, less fortunate community. He's authentic. That's David, and he's a great preacher. But he's a brilliant mind. He's an advocate, and if people heard the first episode, he says pastoring is an extension of my. And so I think that when you really lock into what he's doing, you'll love it. You'll love and hate him. But one thing, you'll make you watch every week.
But he is that one that you love to hate. Because even when he said, now, if Jesus was here in America, his name would be Matthew Bullock. I said, say what? What did he
you know what? I mean, for those of us who study a little bit of Black liberation theology, those of us who I kind of get, you know, when I heard it, of course, but I understood what he was saying. If Jesus was here in the city of Detroit, his name would be D. Anthony Bullock, in the sense of he would have had those passions. He would not be riding the big car, living in the big house. He would be in the hood with the people, feeding the hungry. He would be in the hood, feeding those that had no. And he would be doing what I'm doing. So, you know, kind of see it like that. I know when people go to talking about Jesus, they get a little nervous, but, you know, if you understood what he was really saying, it's from that perspective, not in an idolatrous kind of way, but in the sense of what he was doing, his mission would be what I'm doing.
That's good. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I really do appreciate that. Because I needed somebody to explain that to me, so I cannot wait for him to come on the show, because I want to talk to him, because he is hilarious. But I like what he's saying, but it's just his delivery. But what he's saying is truth. I think it's just the delivery of how it's coming across. So there's nothing wrong necessarily with what he's saying. I think it's the delivery, because he's saying what a lot of people are already thinking anyway.
Absolutely. And Bullock is young. He ain't got nothing to lose. You know, he's young, he's fiery, and he has a great movement here in the city. And he gets things done. With that voice, with that attitude. He gets things done. And at the end of the day, Preachers of Detroit is about who we really are. You know, I don't know what else he could be but himself. And that's just, you know, I'm who I am.
That's it. That's it.
Good blend. You got to have an antagonist in any good movie.
Well, you know,
I'm kind of like the protagonist, you know. But I stir some fires. But you got to have an antagonist, and it gets people watching. And we're glad for you guys watching.
You're right. And we are watching. And he really stood out from episode number 1. Like you said, and that's it's a, who is this? So let me watch his story. So no, you are so right. And I thank you so much for coming on the show. And I really look forward to watching all the rest of the episodes. Thank you so much for just bringing, you know, what's happening in the church, you know, to the world so we can all get some clarity. So I just want to say thank you so much. And it's a great cast. I think everyone blends well, from Dorinda to Bishop Ellis. I mean, all the pastors. I mean, they really did a great job casting this show.
I'm telling you, it was fantastic. And when they pitched it to the network, it was, hey, we'll do it. Part of a franchise that is successful. Preachers of LA was like Oxygen's #1 newest success show. And they said, well, this time we got to have some women. Now, I don't think either Dorinda or I knew that we would have such opposing views, but it's who we are, and it demands dialogue. And I thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you for having us on. I encourage everybody, keep watching, because a lot of these stories are going to end in ways that's going to surprise you.
Amen. Amen. I want to remind the audience to make sure that you tune in Fridays to Oxygen Network for Preachers of Detroit. And I love the song, Rep My City. I was going to say Rep My City. That's my city.
Oh, my city. That's a Dietrich Hatton special, baby.
Because it reminds me of his song, Rep My City, from back in the day.
My city. We love it. We loved it.
Well, thank you again so much, Bishop, and I look forward to having you back on the show.
I look forward to being there, baby, and thank you so much. Thank you for your support.